What's going on, everyone? We are back in full swing. I was just recording another video, and we've got the underwater adventure popping up, and it's time to go over some of the rewards, see what you should be purchasing, and, well, talk about the event a little bit. So let's dive right in. Brand new underwater adventure just started a couple of hours ago. We've had this in the game for a long time. Nothing crazy about this event. Just as a little note with the calendar, this also coincides with a big adventure. So first things first, before we even dive more into the underwater adventure, if you have gems available, you should be buying books. Number one priority. As you can see here, I've already done my 200 spins on this, gotten my extra pet arcana, and I've also gotten my 10 violets, and I've already purchased all of my adventure logs. So make sure you do that first, as it is the number one priority for gem expenditure in the game, regardless of any event really going on. That said, we do have some interesting rewards. First off, for the underwater adventure, this one's pretty straightforward. Basically, you're just going to go as deep as you possibly can. Generally, for these flashlights that kind of scan the whole row, I typically will be waiting until there is a situation where you can really get a ton of rewards in a row, or just kind of progress. Let's say, for example, here, this is a great place to use a flashlight. Although I can press, one of those bubbles to go down further, I would be able to go down and get all these seashells. This would just be another option. These chests usually give you some extra jellyfish or just a bunch of rewards, and it doesn't actually require any jellyfish to open. So it's actually really important that you grab those. Make sure to grab as many seashells as you possibly can. It's actually a good source of getting seashells. It's actually just clicking on them as you're going along. It seems a little bit straightforward, but that's kind of part of the game plan. For these bombs, I usually wait for the kelp fields to place the bomb in those spots, or in spots like this where I could save a couple of jellyfish at a time. But really, you're going to want to save those bombs for real key moments when you see those kelp fields, because you can clear them all and get all the rewards in one go. Really, this event doesn't have too much strategy to it. Honestly, the previous event did have quite a bit. And so just really, if you don't want to min-max this at all, just go as far as you can. Use your jellyfish and you'll be totally fine. Because to be honest, the exchange shop is pretty limited. So first off, for your golden seashells, you're going to see some artifact awakening options. You can pick these up. They are kind of the min-maxing portion of the game, but to be honest, usually with these golden seashells, there's a lot higher value, especially if you're still in that progression stage. First things first, skins. If you like skins, there's some cool ones in here that definitely worthwhile. I mean, they do give you a little bit of stats, right, from the fashion score and everything like that. I've considered getting them just because I think they're kind of fun, but still on that progression and game plan. As for the actual, resource that you'd be spending your golden seashells on, the first four kind of priorities are right here. The limited brand selection box, getting the Joker for a lot of you Sky Splitter users out there, or the Skeleton Spellblade are two of the higher priorities for a lot of builds out there. The S rank and weapon and gear selection box are incredibly important. If you're in those stages where you still need more copies of those. I personally need more gear, so I will be picking this up for sure. The S Epic Legacy box is also, non-negotiable in my opinion. If you only have enough to pick up one thing, I would get the S Epic Legacy box. There's a really, really important heroes and brands in here. The Wild Vulture for one, if you don't have it already, but I still need to bring mine to Mythic. And of course, the Knight of the End, which a lot of people are using. Still don't have mine at Mythic either. The Blessing Synergy Scroll, nice little bonus. So my prioritization here would be S Epic Legacy box, S rank gear selection box. Honestly, the limited brand and the S rank weapon don't appeal to me as much because I have a Mythic Sky Splitter and I also have a Mythic Joker. So therefore, I would probably pick up the Blessing Scroll, and I would probably pick up these Advanced Alchemy regions. These are actually pretty strong. They really help you refine those important gems, and gems are huge bonuses in the game. I've gotten way higher on these Advanced Alchemy regions. And honestly, the more you can pick up, the better. These are really, really exciting. And of course, the Legendary Gem isn't a bad pickup, although we get a lot more Legendary Gems and gems in general than we used to. So it's just one, probably just pick it up. As we move on to the regular seashells, or the silver shells, we've got a couple of different options. The random hero box, this isn't a bad option if you have a couple of these that you're actually quite interested in, but honestly, I tend to avoid them because I don't like the RNG associated with it. That said, the epic legacy box is generally one that you really do want to pick up. Picking up your pirate swordsman and upgrading that one, or your rogue, or your warlock, or your spike club. I mean, whatever it is that you're working with, this is always a nice selection option. You can do some of the conversions with the gold seashells. This one, if you are looking for that final couple of seashells for a specific upgrade, that one's not a bad option. That said, the random insignia box, this is cheaper, but you can get some of the random, here brands here. If you are really, really looking to upgrade your brands, and let's say you are in a spot where 2 of these are valid, I mean, 20% chance. Think about the chances on that. It's not that great, so I kind of tend to skip that. But we get to the good stuff as we scroll down. Inheritance books, these are like a huge bottleneck for me. These are one of the biggest priorities for me at least the current moment. If you're rushing tier 6 ghost, this is going to be a bottleneck for you as well. So definitely pick those up as you can. The gem keys are amazing. I just spoke about how we get a lot more gems, and the gem keys are part of the reason why. The wishing scrolls and the legendary keys, these 3 alongside the elite packs, are the priorities, to be honest. So I'm going to get all of those. Then with the silver shells, I'll be looking at the epic legacy box, as well as any other additions to my arsenal here, which really will probably just be, potentially a gem chest, as that can be a nice little extra usage of these shells, because the brands aren't really as valuable to me. But the inheritance books, the keys, the elite packs, the epic legacy box are the priorities, after which you can kind of do a lot of whatever. To be honest, there's a lot of solid options, nothing too horrible that's going to really mess up your overall progress. That said, the skins are pretty cheap, and you only get the one purchase. If I'm here and you find it pretty enjoyable, you're really not missing out on a whole lot. Guys, get the skin. It is for the fun of it. Honestly, that's the number one priority. If that skin's gonna bring you a lot of enjoyment, you should just pick that thing up. I mean, there's some cool ones in here. Like I mentioned, the soaring dragon is probably my favorite. I just think that the little dragon face is kind of cute around the capybara. But yeah, just pick it up. Just buy it. I mean, it's just 100 golden seashells. You probably could still get most of what you want from the golden seashells. If you are someone who's like later on in the game and you really are looking to, kind of get the things that are not easily obtainable, I would really focus in up here. The awakening cores for the Don Quixote and the awakening cores for the random artifacts. For example, the Heaven's Bark, or the Demon Sword. I mean, there's some options here. These are definitely something that you're going to want to consider. Overall, though, I mean, honestly, this event pretty weak. Like, the rewards are not that exciting. Not a whole great use of the gems here. I'm going to be conserving my gems personally. Except for the big adventure. There's going to be future events that are going to be better. And right now I'm running a little low because I have been pretty loose with the gem spending lately, kind of going in on most events, especially with the big adventure treasure team and things like that. I've been kind of going in on those. So I'm going to be passing on the underwater adventure. Usually the underwater adventure doesn't have that great of rewards anyways, so I wasn't expecting to. And little side note for those of you out there, there are some other ways to kind of get some value out of those gems, one of which I've been prioritizing, which is in the limited rate up, buying some of those scrolls, and I'll probably have a full video on that very shortly. That said, that's kind of my quick, free-to-play rundown of the underwater adventure to kind of maximize your rewards. Make sure that when you're going through here, again, using your bombs on those key locations, like the kelp, using your light, your flashlight on specific spots when you can go to get the maximum value out of it, specifically when you can kind of progress and get everything in a row. Honestly, this one's not very difficult. There isn't a whole lot to maximize here, but just a few things. Let me know how it's going for you all. I feel like since the Ninja Turtle event, granted the last event, it was pretty good, so I can't complain too much, but the underwater adventures and things like that just have not been hitting the same. But maybe it's just because I'm later on in the game and those minor boxes and everything don't appeal to me as much. Thanks for watching, everyone. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below, and I'll see you all for the next one.